Okay. So the first thing that I must say is that in learning to live a victorious life, a life of authenticity, a life where you are not stuck in being a victim, but you live victoriously every day, you have to learn how to forgive. And that forgiveness first starts with self. We cannot offer forgiveness to anyone else until we have first forgiven ourselves. And I know that that is sometimes a difficult concept to grasp. So let's talk about that a minute. What does that really mean to forgive yourself? Forgiving yourself is no longer holding yourself hostage based on the past decisions, indiscretions, and mistakes that you have made. It's not beating yourself up about those things, but it's learning how to use those things in order to propel you to the next level in life. There is a lesson in every experience that we encounter in our lives. The good, the bad, and the indifferent, there is a lesson to be learned. So if we don't first forgive ourselves, then we don't fully understand the value and the importance of why we need to forgive others. So the work first starts with ourselves. We're also going to talk about the importance of forgiving God. And I know that is a difficult concept to grasp too, because a lot of us have grown up or even had this idea that God is sovereign and can do what God wants to do, when God wants to do it, and how God wants to do it, and we shouldn't question that. We should be okay with that. But sometimes things happen in our lives, and whether it is justified or not, we have feelings of anger, resentment, betrayal, disappointment around what God has happened in our lives, and sometimes we even blame God for those things happening in our lives. But without learning to forgive God, you can't fully grasp the weight of what forgiveness is and what it does in your life. If you don't extend forgiveness to God, you will never take full responsibility for your actions and for your behavior and for your life being the way that it is, because you're continuously waiting on a miracle, waiting on something to happen that is just going to pull you out of the state that you're in. But the truth is, you are the miracle. While you're waiting on God to do something, you are actually the miracle. And then thirdly, forgiving others. This is a huge one. Choosing to forgive others says that I care more about my personal well-being than about this pseudo punishment that I give to the person who has caused the injustice in my life. And I say choosing to forgive others because it is a choice. Choosing to forgive ourselves and God and others, it really is a choice. It's a decision that we have to make. We have to intentionally say, I no longer want to carry around this weight, this baggage that is holding me back from really walking into everything that I was purposed to have and to be in my life. See, the thing about forgiving others, that forgiveness is for you. It's not for them. It's for you. Because the truth of it is, when we're holding on to whatever someone has done in our lives that has created this lack of forgiveness, that person is sleeping tonight the same way they slept last night. They've moved on with their lives. Some of them may not even know that they caused the indiscretion in your life. They may not know that they hurt you, how they hurt you, the weight of their decision or their actions has in your life. So they've moved on. Choosing to forgive the other person is not about letting them off the hook for what they've done. It's not about you co-signing on what they caused in your life. But choosing to forgive others means that you care more about your personal well-being than you do about holding them to some form of punishment that really does not impact their lives at all. So with all of that, forgiveness then is not an act, but it is a process. It is a process. in my book, The Distance Between God and Me, I talk about how I had this concept of forgiving. I said with my lips over and over again, I forgive, I forgive. But that really hadn't taken root in my heart. I wanted to forgive. In my head, I wanted to forgive, and with my lips, I spoke forgiveness. But in my heart, I really had not forgiven. So I want to offer some steps tonight that will help you to begin the process of forgiveness. These are some steps that will help you to begin the process of forgiveness. It takes work. Anything in life worth having is worth the work. And I say work because you have to put some action towards what you say. Yes, we can speak things into the atmosphere and they manifest, but that comes through the actual nurturing of that thing, the action that we put behind it, the do something. So here are the steps to forgiveness. Number 1, acknowledge. The first step is to acknowledge. You have to acknowledge what you feel, whether it's anger, betrayal, disappointment, rejection, sadness, whatever you feel, you have to acknowledge it. I know this is difficult because we don't want to speak certain things into the atmosphere. We don't want to take ownership of what we truly feel. But if it's already there, you have to acknowledge it before you can do anything about it. You cannot conquer what you don't confront. When you feel these emotions and don't acknowledge them, then they lie deep, buried beneath the surface. And what will happen in time is they will show up and manifest in our lives in destructive behaviors, self-destructive behaviors and destructive behaviors towards other individuals. It prohibits us from moving forward into doing what we need to do. And that's just regular daily functioning, daily tasks, as well as the great and monumental things that we know will push us into our greatness, in our purpose, in our authentic lives. So you have to acknowledge what you feel. When you acknowledge it, that is a part of the releasing, of you making a decision to let it go. So you just aren't saying, oh, I'm angry at God, or I'm angry at this person, my dad, my mom, my employer, my significant other, and then you're stuck in that anger. But that is a part of the process of releasing it, to let it go, to say, I acknowledge what I feel. I honor myself and giving myself permission to feel what I feel, and knowing that my feelings do not define me. Just because I feel anger doesn't mean that I'm an angry person. Just because I feel disappointment, it doesn't mean that I'm a disappointing person. Just because I feel rejection or feel rejected, it doesn't mean that I'm not worthy to be accepted. But it means I acknowledge what I feel. I'm human, and it's okay. I have value. My feelings make me a human being, and I'm valuable because I have them. So now that I know what I feel and what's going on with me, I can begin to accept. The next step to forgiveness is accept. Accepting not only what I feel about the situation, but accepting the situation as a part of where I'm going. We have to accept the past for what it is. And what is it? Not only is the past, it's behind us, but it is a part of our story, a part of our makeup, a part of our purpose, a part of our testimony, a part of our testament to what we have survived and how that can help somebody else. Everything that we experience is not always or only just for us. Sometimes we experience things in life in order to help someone else, in order to teach someone else, in order to be a blessing to someone else. But if we don't acknowledge what we feel based upon our past life experience and accept it as a part of our story, then how can we fully walk into who we were purposed and designed to be? Everything that has happened in your life has happened for a reason, and we must accept it as a part of our story. And then the third point is commit. We acknowledge what we feel. We accept what has happened in our life as a part of our story, and then we commit. Commit to letting go. Commit to no longer holding yourself hostage to the past. Commit to no longer punishing God or holding resentment against God for allowing something to happen in our lives. Commit to letting go of the anger and the frustration, the disappointment and the rejection from others or for others and what they did to me, what they did in my life. That is a lot of energy that we are wasting that really can be used to motivate us, to push us from victim to victorious. That is energy that can be used to pursue our passions and our purpose and our gifting and every beautiful and wonderful and great thing that we have envisioned for our life. We have to commit to letting go, because the tighter we hold on to these things, then we don't have room enough in our hands to receive what we have envisioned for our life. We don't have room enough to receive the great and wonderful call and purpose and vision and the wonderful things that we placed on our vision boards and the things that we've dreamed about and the things that we aspire to do and to become and to have. We don't have room to receive it because we're holding on to the pain of the past, reliving it over and over, and that keeps us stuck. But you were called to be victorious, not a victim, not in a state of not doing anything to push my life forward, to make progress. You were called to be victorious, to overcome those things that have presented in your life as setbacks, as challenges, as adverse situations. Forgiveness is imperative to your victory. In order to live in victory on this authenticity journey, you have to learn to forgive. It's imperative. You can't move forward without it. Think about any winning situation. A game, any type of feat, passing a test, passing an exam, conquering something. At the end, what happens at the end of those victories? There's always a celebration, right? There's always a jumping up or leaping or hands in the air or clapping, a roar that comes from within, a moment of celebration. You cannot celebrate victorious moments in your life if you're held down by the weight and the baggage of the thing or the person that you refuse to forgive. You can't do it. Your choosing to forgive is imperative for victory. It's imperative for you in moving forward and embracing this life of authenticity. I hope that tonight I have inspired you or impressed upon you to choose to forgive. Sometimes that can be a difficult thing to do. It can be challenging. But I guarantee you it's rewarding because it's for you. It frees you up to begin to walk into the purpose and the plan that God has for your life. It frees up energy and space into your life where you can receive all of the good and wonderful things that you desire. Choosing to forgive is so necessary so that you can win, so that you can be victorious, so that you can have everything that is meant for you to have. We have a few minutes left. I want to open the floor for comments, questions, feedback from anyone on the call. We'll take a few minutes to do that, and then I'll close us out with our challenge for the week. Any questions, any feedback, any comments? If not, I want to pose our challenge for the week. I want you to begin to think about, who do you need to forgive? Is it yourself for holding yourself hostage to the past, not giving yourself a chance or opportunity to really move forward in what God has purposed for your life? Do you need to forgive God for something God allowed, a situation or a circumstance to happen in your life? Do you need to forgive someone else? Someone who has caused a great indiscretion, who has hurt you to the core, to the bone. I challenge you to think about who needs forgiveness in your life, and I want you to apply the steps that we talked about tonight. Acknowledge, accept, and commit in order to begin your process of forgiveness. This is what is going to put you on the path to achieving victory and to living a life of authenticity. Thank you again so much for joining our call. Our next call will be Sunday, December 13th at 7 p.m. The Authenticity Call is held every second Sunday night at 7 p.m. If you've been enjoying this call, I want you to share the invitation with somebody who you believe would benefit from what we're doing here. We're just creating a community of women who can dial in and get support as they embark upon their authenticity journey. You will also receive an invitation this week to join our Women's Authenticity private group page on Facebook. If you haven't gone to my site yet and entered your information, all we ask for is your name and your email address to keep you abreast of what we're doing and to send reminders about the monthly call. I want to encourage you to go over to shawandas.com and enter your information so we can be in touch with you. From there, we will send you an invitation to join our private group page, and this is only for the women who participate each month on the call, so that we can begin to expand our thoughts and ideas about the topics that we talk about each month. And also it gives a platform for me to interact with you more personally on your authenticity journey. This is a gift that I just want to share. It was shared with me, it was given to me, and so I think it's my responsibility and my obligation to share it with you all, and I take great pleasure in that. And so I believe this group, this private group on Facebook, is another avenue for us to begin to do that. Thank you so much for joining the call tonight. I appreciate you. Remember your challenge for the week. I'm always accessible by email. If you ever have any questions or feedback throughout the process, until the next time we meet, since our calls are only held once a month. Again, thank you so much for joining tonight. I hope that you have a wonderful and prosperous week. Go forward thinking about, how can I choose to forgive? Because that is the thing that pushes me closer towards living the authentic life that I desire. Thank you, ladies, and have a good night.